I have found that Simucell provides a fairly realistic experience for the students. Of course, they are not real sales managers and don't have that day-to-day responsibility of being a sales manager, but it enables them to understand what it's like to have to make decisions about how large should your team be in order to grow revenue, to meet your goals. It gives them experience of how difficult it is to forecast, which is one of the hardest things that sales managers are faced with oftentimes in their roles. So I find the simulation to really give them some hands-on experiences that they wouldn't otherwise get simply from reading cases and discussing in the class.
And the main way that I use it is kind of in terms of application or applying otherwise textbook concepts. So we talk about training, and then we have a chance to do training, or we talk about compensation, and then we have a chance to apply that.
What was important, and that's one of the key learnings of the I think of Simucell, is that you have to do some analysis, and there are terms like red herrings. There are things that can lead you down blind alleys, just like in real life business. So for the students, things like that were really valuable.
So I use Simucell in my sales management classes to provide my students with the opportunity to really pretend like they're a sales manager for a semester. And we do 10 rounds of simulation. And so there's time for them to see the impact of the decisions that they make and how that will affect them in subsequent quarters. I have found Simucell to be very flexible in terms of my ability to choose the amount of teams that I want to set up. And if I have to change those teams because students drop or add, it's very easy to do so. And it also is very flexible in terms of me as the professor. I can control when the simulations are run. So if I need to make a change in timing to my syllabus, it's very simple to change when a round is due and when I run that simulation. And so I found it to be extremely easy to work with from that point of view.
That I found Simucell to be a very affordable tool for my students.
I don't think that it requires the students to have a great deal of expertise in sales or sales management in order to carry out the simulation and learn from the experience.
I think the simulation is very flexible in getting it to do what you want it to do, be that number of students per team, be that number of rounds that you want to play, be that number of practice rounds that you might want to play.
Simucell is so easy to get started with. The first semester that I used Simucell, it took me perhaps 5 or 10 minutes to actually set my first simulation up.
The folks at Simucell have been top-notch, responding to the inevitable and seemingly unique ways that things can kind of go wrong from a registration standpoint. Maybe students signed up for the wrong simulation or shared their access code or registered late, right? There will be issues of that sort. But in each situation that I've had, I've found that the folks at Simucell are super responsive.
I have found the level of support from Simucell to be very, very high. Anytime I have a question, I email them, and within hours, I'll typically hear back, sometimes within minutes. So the level of support has been quite high.
That I found that Simucell was very good at reinforcing the kinds of topics I was covering in the classroom. The issues around hiring and selecting, training, forecasting, and then just the sales management day to day in terms of the issues that come up. So I really found that SimuCell was a very supportive tool to the kinds of learnings I'm trying to give my students.
I can tell that my students love SimuCell because at my end of semester course evaluations, students offer many comments about how SimuCell was their favorite part of the course.
But I would say overall the students were, to a person, were very positive about SimuCell.
Otherwise, I think the modeling behind the algorithms, if you will, are pretty sophisticated. Just the different, if we can say, determinants or drivers of salesperson performance, and kind of the dynamic nature of it, but multiple factors, some cool new factors, including hiring salespeople and making job offers. That kind of thing is pretty real life. And again, there are several aspects of it that I could say are more lifelike than some different simulations. So I like it.
I highly recommend using SimuCell as a way to offer your students in sales and sales management classes some hands-on practical application for the materials that they're learning about. It really is a lot of fun. I like to create a spirit of competition within the class, and we talk every week after a round has been completed about what the stack ranking looks like. And that's always good for creating community in classroom as well.